Once upon a time, Suzuki and TVS were the best of friends, and then they weren't. Together, they produced some truly memorable motorcycles, but the dream run soon came to an end. Today, their fierce rivalry has resulted in these two motorcycles you see here, the Suzuki Gixxer and the TVS Apache RTR 164V. By the look of it, there isn't going to be truce between these two anytime soon.
One long look at either motorcycle will tell you exactly why. Looking cool is fundamental to this segment of motorcycles, and both the Gixxer and the Apache have much to offer in this aspect. While the Gixxer is decidedly urban, the Apache gives away its racetrack aspirations quite effortlessly. The equipment list on either machine is similar as well, with both offering a digital meter console, a conventional handlebar, and a single-piece seat. A disc at either end is also standard, and so is a monoshock.
Both of these motorcycles are stylish and highly appealing, but it's the TVS Apache that has a slight edge in this department. Its design, borrowed from the bigger RTR 200, is cleaner and racier, and it definitely looks terrific in this two-tone shade. The Gixxer is the older design of the two, but it's still funky enough. It's got great proportions and is built as well as the Apache, if not better. However, this SP variant with its two-tone paint finish, chrome-heavy exhaust, and unimaginative decals isn't quite fashionable. I think the Gixxer deserves to age more gracefully.
This is, without a doubt, a performance-driven segment, so let's get to the numbers, starting with the Gixxer. Its 154cc motor hasn't exactly led the segment from the front, but it's lovable anyway. The 2-valve motor, paired to a 5-speed gearbox, produces 14.8 HP at 8000 RPM and 14 Nm of torque at 6000 RPM, and offers a generous amount of tractability as well. It's only on the highway that the Gixxer begins to feel inadequate, demanding commitment and perseverance past the 90 kph mark. In the city, and in moderately fast twisty bits, there's still nothing as charming as the Gixxer.
The Gixxer's motor is just so much fun. Its peppy low end is great in the city, and with it, you'll never have a dull moment. It isn't as potent out on the highway though, and it could do with some more overall refinement as well.
In comparison, the Apache's motor is quite the opposite. Its 159cc 4-valve motor boasts segment-leading numbers, 16.5 HP at 8000 RPM and 14.8 Nm of torque at 6500 RPM. But that's not the only reason behind its resurrection as a worthy contender in the segment. Apart from being very well-mannered, the RTR's motor is fast but undemanding, although aggressive riding will introduce you to vibrations between 6000 to 7500 RPM. Past this, the RTR continues to build up speed, and it feels more comfortable doing so all the way to its red line.
The Apache is mature and grown up in its responses. It's refined to a seriously impressive degree, and the crisp, light throttle makes it calming no matter how fast you want to go. While it is a little numb in the city, it is the better bike on the highway out of the two.
You wouldn't be watching this if you didn't have a thing or two for fun but practical motorcycles, and it's here that their rivalry reaches a crescendo. The Gixxer seats you almost upright, and thanks to its 135 kg curb weight and shorter wheelbase, it feels laugh-out-loud flickable in the city. It's a natural in the corners, helped not just by its inherently agile chassis, but also by its grippy and substantial tires. The Apache's riding position is more committed thanks to the lower handlebar, and it is the more serious cornering machine too, and that's saying something because we love the way the Gixxer attacks corners. While its 145 kg curb weight and relatively longer wheelbase make it seem less frantic, the Apache comes across as precise and predictable, with the confidence of a much bigger machine than it actually is.
Fun isn't bound by a rigid definition, and there's no bigger example of this than these two motorcycles here. While the Gixxer, being lighter, is more flickable, it's the Apache that is more composed and precise around corners. The Gixxer suspension is firmer than the Apache's, and while that's great for cornering, it's not as good over a commute. The Apache's ply-in suspension, on the other hand, is one of the highlights of its package, and that makes it great for everyday commuting, especially with the pillion. The RTR has the better brakes of the two. However, you should know this. Suzuki is soon going to launch an ABS variant of the Gixxer. While that will translate to a price hike, it is going to be a worthwhile investment.
Speaking of worthwhile investments, the twin-disc carbureted SP version of the Gixxer is priced at 81,926 rupees ex-showroom Delhi, and that money gets you a fun, well-built motorcycle which is better than every other motorcycle in its segment, except the TVS Apache. While the Apache is a sliver more expensive, priced at 84,490 rupees for the twin-disc carbureted version, it also does everything a little bit better. It's more contemporary and crucially more practical as well. And most of all, it manages to be fun when you want it and calm when you don't.
The Apache has proven itself to be better in almost every aspect, but that doesn't make the Gixxer a bad motorcycle at all. Its ability to be hugely entertaining with great styling and features makes it a highly desirable motorcycle even today. The Apache, on the other hand, is the more contemporary and evolved overall package of the two, and that's what makes it the winner of this test. Truce? Whose idea was it anyway?
Welcome to Autocar Confidential, the part of the show where we tell you something you may not know about the car industry. Now we know Mitsubishi has been working hard to get the Outlander to India, but it just isn't the Outlander. They have something special up their sleeve, and the project we hear has just begun. It's called the PHEV. Now of course PHEV stands for Plug-in Hybrid Electric Vehicle, and this electric motor equipped 2-liter Outlander has a combined horsepower of 203. It's a powerful vehicle, it will be fun to drive because it's a Mitsubishi, it has that sporty sort of tilt, and what you can do is you can also charge it at home. It's an electric, you can charge at home, of course that's why they call it a PHEV. Now 6.5 hours will get you a full charge, and if you drive it only in EV mode, you get a range of around 50 kilometers, which is pretty impressive. What's also hugely impressive is the claimed fuel economy. It's about in the region of 58 kilometers a liter. Of course, the electric charge in the batteries helps you get that efficiency, but all in all, this seems like an extremely exciting vehicle. Of course, the downside is that it'll be a bit more expensive than even the Outlander, which at 32 lakhs is already pushing it a bit. This one should be around 35 lakhs or thereabouts, and that's because it's going to be imported directly from Japan. If you're interested in a plug-in hybrid, a vehicle you can use as an electric for most of the week, this Mitsubishi could just be the ticket. For more such news and scoops, be sure to keep watching the Autocar Show.